In the beginning of time, we had an idea. We came up with tools to be used in our daily lives. With these tools, we were able to express ourselves and also communicate our history through our writings and art. As time progressed, we evolved our form of expression and communication through more convenient technology. Now we have technology like iPhones, laptops, and tablets that inform us on all sorts of information. With all this technology, we wondered,
what resources do you rely on to get informed?
Well, primarily the internet, and I subscribe to several newspapers on the internet, the LA Times and the Sacramento Bee, and then also I'm on several listservs, and I'm on Facebook. Maybe a little too much, but I get a lot of information from Facebook.
We thought you were going to say books because you love books so much.
Oh, and I love books, yeah. But you know, in terms of news, right? The question was news?
Yeah, anything.
Oh, yeah,
It can be
yeah,
anything.
Yeah, and of course I do a lot of reading. Read a lot of books, a lot of research articles. And
yeah, that's what we thought your answer would be.
Yeah.
It would have to be probably more textbook, probably more brochure. I try to stay away from internet.
I'm on the opposite end of that. I pretty much, like, most of my news comes from Twitter. Like, I follow certain activist groups and like news organizations, and I have like an RSS feed of like Al Jazeera, Democracy Now, BBC, all these news sources.
Do you mean like on the internet?
Yeah, that could be one.
Well, I do a lot of reading, so certainly books are one way that I do that, but I use a lot of ebooks too. I just got a new iPad, so I've been playing around with iTunes University, where you can get access to a lot of curriculum, and so I've been using that quite a bit. I do most of my reading on the iPad or on the computer, and so I get a lot of my information from regular sites I visit daily.
What resources do you find most credible?
I like to look at a lot of current events.
Okay.
Rely on things like that and see how to approach certain things. I think the most appropriate would be like a scholarly journal.
Okay.
Google Scholar, no Wikipedia for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I do read certain blogs, right? But for the most part, like I'll do the Chronicle of Higher Education, Wall Street Journal. There's certain color lines, or certain online magazines, resources that I rely on, that I know are really reputable, that have research studies. So those are the things I read. Online newspapers a lot.
Actual activist groups. So what are you doing for me? I have some people that I know that work for government organizations, some people that work for nonprofit, and this is how this is going to affect me. And as it relates to what I've learned from what I've read in textbooks.
There have to be those sources that are like donor supported. So like the nonprofits, the ones who don't depend on corporate or commercial sponsorship. So they have no inherent bias towards any way on the spectrum or the other. They're just there to deliver the story and for the purpose of the story, which is the truth.
Okay, cool. Can you name any?
Democracy Now! They're
Generally reliable, I would say the internet.
The internet.
Because there's so much information out there that is important, it's impossible to consume it all. And so you can get a lot of quick bites of information, and I'm not using that as a technical term, but quick snippets of information from the internet, both again in terms of listservs and newspapers and magazines. I get Time magazine on the internet.
Do you know what change.org is?
I don't. They're the ones with the petitions or something like that, right? Yeah, I know about that.
Change.org. That might be one of the listservs that I'm on.
Oh.
It very well may be. Yeah. And it's if I'm correct, it's a progressive organization that gives information on national issues related to politics, economics, and
Pretty much everything. Yeah, great.
No.
Okay.
Well, if you want to change something, you go on change.org and you start a petition to bring about change. And it tends to be a younger generation that accesses this resource. I think it's a really important resource.